Welcome to the game room, Waddle-D. We're back for more Kirby Super Star Ultra, and this is pretty much the last challenge on our hands. And honestly, I've been looking very much forward to it because I feel like I've been skimping on the challenges a little bit as of late. And this one will make up for all of the lackluster that we might have been experiencing, at least in terms of, hey, just beating it fast, just doing a character you're not used to. This one is going to be quite a doozy, and one that took a lot of attempts to get right. This is the true arena. This is one of the hardest things in this game. It's not really the hardest thing you'll ever play or see in a Kirby game, but it is pretty damn hard. And I have a very big doozy of a challenge for you all. The main challenge here is playing through the true arena with no flying and suplex only. Suplex, I would say, is one of the best abilities that this game introduced to everyone. Is basically like throw, except with a freaking Macho Man Randy Savage kind of thing going on with it. And to be fair, it is one of my favorite abilities in the series, bar none. And I figured, you know what? We need to do something other than just no ability. I mean, everyone's done a no ability, and it's like, man, it's the same old, same old. Here I wanted to do something different and show off the strengths of this wonderful ability and how it works. Mainly, you have two methods of attacking. It's pinpoint kick, which is basically a drop kick on top of the head of an enemy, and grabbing. Grabbing is where you're going to be doing 99.9% of your damage. Pinpoint kick is more of a whittle down until dead kind of strategy, and you would not be using this all the time. You will be slamming things in people's faces. There's no other way around it. And what people aren't really aware of, or probably are, but don't take into consideration, is the invincibility frames that you can get from grabbing an enemy. It is crazy how much invincibility you will get using suplex. And that's what I want to show off, and why it's very possible to beat the true arena without flying. It is crazy. And if I fly, that's a failure. If Kirby puffs up, you lose. If Kirby loses his ability and it gets blown to the wind, you lose. That is how this challenge works. And you know what? I am just totally ready to show it to you guys. So look forward to this and the intro, of course. Now, guys, the way the true arena works is that you have 6 fights that are in random order, and then you have the big 4. We're going to start off with Lolo and Lalala. These guys are probably the easiest boss of the 6. All you just need to know is grab a green block, slam it into one or both. You can do that, and you win. The only thing you really need to worry about is accidentally flying or a Gordo that might come by. Not to mention them being a little bit faster. When you get to the true mid-boss all-stars, this is where it starts to get really dicey. This is probably the hardest of the 6 battles you'll do, which is kind of surprising. The first ones, you're probably thinking, wow, like, are you sure about that? Well, the first one's kind of a joke. Same with the second. The big-ass wheel does not do much for me, and it certainly won't do much of a challenge, but you will need to consider what it's going to be doing. Otherwise, you might end up getting screwed over. Fan, on the other hand, will be the big decider of your fate. If Fan grabs you and throws you against the wall, you take damage. And as you can see, it can easily happen. All Fan needs to do is just physically touch you. But if you don't let that happen, that fight's pretty much done. Also, Fire Leo is annoying because you have to time your pinpoint kicks to the point where you do it at the highest part of your jump to avoid taking unnecessary damage by him jumping around over the place. But if he slams his face in the ground, take it, star, and slam it back in his. So, Kracko Jr. is surprisingly one of the easier bosses. The only thing you have to keep in mind is the patterns and how it moves. But as long as you're aware of how he's working, you should do fine here. You can even get some little pinpoint kicks in here and there. The bomb attack is what you want to really take advantage of, because look at that freaking damage. He's almost dead from just one bomb. And if you're wondering how to do that move, it's up throw. Up throw is definitely going to be your go-to throw for most of these battles, but forward throw will push you forward, back throw will slam you back, and then down throw is worthless. Don't use it. Here we're going to definitely be using it here on Kracko, which is honestly easier than Kracko Jr., surprisingly. Mainly because of, look at this invincibility frames. Yeah, it stays, you can grab an enemy and kind of hold them for like 2 minutes, or 2 seconds. And they can't do anything. Kirby will eventually throw it away. But you have 2 seconds, like massive amounts of invincibility frames. I think it's even more than 2 seconds. I feel like it's a minute. But Wispy Woods is surprisingly difficult. What you need to do here is you need to pinpoint kick the face, and then when you start seeing apples, grab them. Be careful of the air puffs. But keep doing this until you start seeing anything drop from the sky, or if you're feeling like you can finish off Wispy Woods, kick it until it's dead. Kablooa, not so much. It's going to be the same fight for everyone. All I can say is blow away the cannonballs with your shots and dodge the Gordos, and then when she charges towards you, try to get up close and get some extra shots in. When it starts shooting bullet bills out of her face, this fight's over. You just need to be pretty much up close and out of horizontal range, and you kill her very quickly. Speaking of dead quickly... Yeah, Mass Dedede is where the challenge truly begins, because Mass Dedede can be very, very random, and the randomness can go in your favor when he starts jumping 3 times, or he could use this attack, which is usually starts about half health. This is the only effective, reliable way to dodge that attack. I tried doing pinpoint kicks when he's spinning around. It is not a great idea, because if you happen to jump too early or jump wrong on top of him, you're going to get hit. And you don't want to lose a star in this area, because you could lose it on the fence. But if you get past that, you have everyone's big jewel thing, Wham Bam Rock. This fight's going to be a methodical one. You're going to have to take it slow. The way it's going to work is you're going to pinpoint kick the back of the hand, and you're going to kick away or move away after you kick. Because if you don't do that, you might take some damage. Because the thing you don't want to do, like example right there, is you do not want to kick something that is moving upwards. If you pinpoint kick something that's moving upwards, you're going to take damage. Also, please, please, please take all the advantage in the world of your jump throw, because your jump throw is really damn good for anything that is above your head. You get a lot of height from it. You also do a good amount of damage if it hits. And it just looks pretty damn cool. But you really need to practice these fights. You're not going to do them first time, because you have to recognize how to react to all these moves, know exactly what you need to do. Like this one, you have to jump and grab. And that's it. That's pretty much how this is going to work. It's not like a matter of skill, it's a matter of practice, know-how, preparation, etc., etc. The execution part is pretty much the last piece of that puzzle. And you're going to need a whole bunch of it with this guy. This is Galactonite. You already know who he is, but with suplex and no flying, this is going to be a very interesting fight. The thing you need to keep in mind is to know when to attack and when to duck. And you definitely want to jump over that shockwave. He might use that if you duck too early. It's random. You just kind of have to know exactly how to respond to what he has to offer. When he starts summoning his Neo Meta Knights, not a hard fight. All you just need to know is those guys die in 1 throw, and the others die in at least 2. Though if you slam them into one another, then you might see them die pretty quickly. But Galactonite is going to be the brick wall of this run, honestly. If you do not know how to fight this guy, you will die a lot. And the thing you really need to know is to not pinpoint kick more than once when he's on the ground. Also, when he does this, you have to defend. Now, if he's over half health, not so bad. Kite that. Like I said, you need to know exactly what to do for this fight, because this took me a lot of attempts. That beam, you have to duck. Ducking is definitely your best friend here, because the thing you really want to avoid getting hit by is the freaking rapid slash. That is the worst attack in the game. Also, this is the best attack in the game for you, because you can punish him pretty badly, as you just saw. But you really do not want to see the rapid slash. The rapid slash does massive amounts of damage if you get hit, and guarding it is a terrible idea. This is why I recommend you duck, or get ready to duck at any time, but as long as you give you stars for damage and kind of whittle them down with pinpoint kicks, okay. Remember Marex? Remember when he flew into that thing called Nova and it blew up? You wonder what happened to him? Apparently we left him out there this entire time. And you know what? I think Nova is something or somehow Marex just decided to turn into this. Fantastic. So I bring you guys the final boss of Kirby Super Star Ultra. Marex Soul. This is probably one of the best bosses in the game, but definitely one of the harder ones, mainly because of the conditions and how you have to get to him to actually fight him. We're going to be just throwing stuff at him. You're not going to do any pinpoint kicks because it is really hard to get up there to begin with, and the fact that he can move up really quickly without much warning leads me to believe that's a really terrible idea. So keep to just throwing stuff at Marex. So this is where the no ability part comes into this run, where it's just using stars all over again. We're just going to be grabbing stuff and throwing it in his face or slamming it. This is the worst, one of the worst attacks that he has. We can't dodge it. You can't really avoid it. But you want to stick to the edges of the screen and guard, because this is really the only way you can take that attack without too much damage. You can kite him around, which I do recommend at times, because it does make the fight a little less stressful. But you want to grab this, because we're going to show off something awesome. Yeah, you can do that. That is how awesome the invincibility frames are for Suplex. If you grab something, you have so much time to do whatever you want, including dodging Marex's laser attack, which is incredible. But as you can see, Marex does not like to play nice at times. Sometimes he likes to warp himself into particular spots, and then when you take more than half his health away, you deal with this attack immediately. One of his worst attacks by far, because you have to read it very closely. And of course he starts mixing up his pattern a little bit from what you might have recognized before, and you're going to have to get used to that new pattern. And that's the hardest part of this fight, guys, is to dealing with Marex's more manic mode. And do not guard those beanstalks, you will take damage. Again, we're going to grab this, and we're going to have to make a decision here, because if we kite him, we don't have to deal with the laser. So you can do that as well, but it gets really dicey here. Like, the laser is honestly the worst attack that Marex will throw at you as well. Like, that's the attack you need to figure out how to deal with before you beat this boss. Because if you don't deal with it, you're going to lose. But all I can recommend here is to use the cutters. The cutters are the best source of damage. Also, remember, you can guard this and not take any damage, chip damage from that, so it's good. And, of course, don't forget about the black hole, because that will kill any person that is at half HP. Just look how crazy he gets, guys. He just starts going madhouse on you, so be mindful of that. And, yep, more of this. This attack has a bit of a finicky pattern to it, where, as you saw there, I tried doing the same thing I did the first time. But, as you can see, I have to study it a little bit more. But it's possible to dodge it. You just have to hit the top of the fireball to basically bounce off of it and go over it as a result. But as you can see, if you miss that timing, you're going to end up getting hit pretty hard. 25% of my HP is pretty bad. And Marex, here's your ball back. Ball in my fist. What you gotta say for that, Marex? What you gotta say to your defeat? Very beautiful concession speech. Excellent job, Marex. You made a very fine final boss. Thank you very much, guys, for watching this particular run, because this is my time to you all. If you guys can beat it, awesome. If you guys want to share your advice while going through it, awesome. Please do. And this is what happens when you beat the game completely. 100%. My question, Marex, why the hell are you here? We just killed you like a minute ago. It's confusing, but we'll take it. So, guys, I really hope you enjoyed this little session of Kirby Super Star Ultra, and I really hope you guys enjoy the stuff that comes after this. But for now, I bring you the last item that you would unlock normally at 100%. The blooper reel. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a great day, and adios.